Well, hello, everyone. We're super excited today to introduce you guys to Michael Alfaro. He is in the Pasadena area, he and his wife, and they are, I would say, leadership lovers. They are lovers of leadership. They have a church there for the last 4 years, have worked in youth ministry. My goodness, we share kind of same background there.
Yeah.
And I know that you guys are great friends with Lori and Vince, and we're excited to meet you. How are you doing today?
Yeah, doing very, very well. Doing great at home, like everybody else. And the sky's sunny over here in Pasadena area, so we're doing well.
That's
Yeah.
great. That's great.
Yeah.
Well, I know that you guys in California have probably been a little bit sheltered longer than most in the country. And it is a time we're all having to pivot our lives. And you probably have a lot of people that you're reaching out to and needing those messages of hope. So, how are you guys, number one, how are you guys doing?
Yeah, thank you. We appreciate that. We're doing very well. We're managing, just like anyone else. My wife and I just had 5 months ago now, we just had our firstborn baby. And so although we're quarantined, we're filled with a lot of joy. Ironically, check this out. Interesting enough, we named our daughter Hope. So yeah, isn't that funny? So we have a lot of joy right now, and we're doing well. We've been sheltering in place, just like many of the states, but we're doing well. Yeah, thank you for asking.
That's so good. That's good. Well, I know that many people are out, kind of looking for messages of hope and trying to stay sane in this season. So what do you feel like some of the challenges that people are facing during this time?
Yeah. Well, like you said earlier, I do ministry, and so I kind of, what I do is I kind of get the spiritual climate of things, especially in our area, our nation, our states, our cities. And one of the things that I think that we're challenged with right now is obviously is the coronavirus, but what comes along with that is fear. I think people are very, very fearful and words are powerful. So when you say pandemonium, that carries weight. And so with all the nervous buying and all just the rhetoric out there in the news, a lot of people are very much afraid right now.
Yeah, so true. And we as business owners, you have a lot of business owners, small business owners listening today, maybe in real estate, maybe in home staging. I mean, do you have any words of encouragement or advice for because they're leading at a different level? Maybe they have small teams, maybe of course we're all leading in our households, but any advice for them during this time?
Yeah, thank you. I think it's great. I would say the encouragement I would give to leaders right now, business, ministry, whatever it is, even your family, you're a leader in the house, maybe you're a leader in your neighborhood, or your extended family. I would say right now is to have hope. Sometimes during crises or difficult seasons, some people may crack under pressure. Others may do very well under pressure. I would encourage you right now to not allow fear to grip you, but to lead with a new spirit. I'm a pastor, obviously, but to lead out of hope and lead out of faith. The reason being is people need that right now. Even if they don't say it or share it, they may not even act like it. People really need hope. So I would just urge all leaders right now, especially in business, in your teams, is to lead with a positive attitude and encourage your people with hope. So absolutely.
Yeah, that's good. And so maybe there are some listeners saying, well, number one, you can't give what you don't have. And so how can I, find hope during this season? Obviously we're believers. We, number one, look at our faith that gives us hope. And then what are some other outlets? I mean, do you have good authors, books? I mean, your daily routine, right? I mean, how do you start off? What
very
can
good.
people find that?
I think that's wonderful. What I do, honestly, obviously this is spiritual, but I think if you're not a Christian, you're not religious or spiritual at all, you can do this in different avenues. What I do before I turn on the TV every morning or turn on my iPhone and Instagram and Facebook and all of that, I honestly meditate. Honestly, I say a prayer. I want to hear God's voice before I hear any other voice. Why is that important? Because we are so inundated with information. And let me tell you right now, leaders, just because there's a lot of information, it doesn't mean that it's all true, right? And for me personally, I find that God's word is true, that he is true. But if you're not religious, I would say get up in the morning and do some quiet time. Maybe I journal as well. So why don't just write your feelings down, meditate, have some quiet time, and clear your head. I think that one of the most powerful things that leaders can do is to lead with a clear mind, clear your thoughts, because there's a, you know, there can be wars right here, right in between your ears. And I think in a time of crisis, we need to be clear-minded and have some time in our day to focus and yeah, be level-headed.
Yeah, that's good. And we know, like, out of the heart, the mouth speaks, right? So it's like
Yeah,
what we're
absolutely.
thinking, what we're feeling sometimes.
Right, right,
And
right,
here's the thing about words, you can't take them back. And so
right, yeah.
you're in crisis, that
Mm.
unfortunately you're going to create crisis and chaos
Yeah,
around you.
right.
So work on the hard issues, right?
Yeah, and I would say this too. Honestly, this is the truth. It does not mean that great leaders. It doesn't mean that they're not fearful. Absolutely not. Right. But with fear, there's another opportunity that comes with that. Is courage.
Mhm.
Courage. Right. To lead out of courage, and people want to follow a courageous person in the business field, in church, wherever it is, in your family. So I think that you just mentioned a good point, and I'll stop after this. But I think maybe journaling. What I do when I journal is I write out all my, even my ugly thoughts,
Mhm.
because I get it out before I go and say some positive, because I want to give positive vibes and positive speech and positive outlook. So I think just to share that, write it down, share it with someone before you're leading. So that makes sense.
Yeah, it's and those of you that are familiar, with, like, whatsoever things are, right? Whatsoever things are good,
Mhm.
are pure.
Yeah.
Those are the things that we
Right.
really want to be thinking on. And out of
Right.
those thoughts, now we start speaking that. And I love
Yeah.
that you brought out courage, because what is
Hmm.
courage, right? Yes, I mean,
Right.
there are times
Right.
we can be
Right.
walking forward, our knees are shaking, and you about other
Yeah.
examples of people
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
moving forward.
Can I share this with you too? I think that, I don't know for other people regarding business, but when I started, me and my wife started a church in Los Angeles, which is not spiritually a lot different than Texas. I'll be honest with you. You're in the Bible Belt. We're not in the Bible Belt, but I love my city. I was very fearful. I was very fearful of starting something new that I've never done before. You may have a lot of businesses who started their business with a lot of fear, but had a lot of hope and were dreamers. So I would say that to rekindle passion in your heart and
Mhm.
to lead out of hope and integrity and regain that courage. It doesn't mean that leaders aren't fearful, but they lead with a different spirit, putting fear in the back seat. Yeah,
Yeah, that's so good. And
yeah,
I appreciate these words of wisdom. Any
yeah,
last minute thoughts? I know we've given so much here, but
yeah,
like,
yeah.
what are some last minute things that you can leave with us?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I'll have just a few things. If you own a business or you're in ministry, I would say here's some practical things that I've done that I would encourage you to do is surround yourself with wise counselors. Surround
Mm,
yourself with contemporaries. In business, these might be your competitors, but honestly, I've always been taught actually in business that leverage your relationships. That is your greatest resource. Is your relationships. I would say also too to look at the other resources that are available to you. I just heard about the CARE Act. That might be a wonderful resource. Look at programs that are available to you before you're laying off people. Um, and I would say the other thing too is a dream again. When I think of crises, personally as a minister, I've gone through several crises in my life and in my ministry. It always leads me back to why did I do this? What's my identity as a pastor? In other words, what's your identity? What's your identity in your business? Why did you do this? Dream again. I love reading. I think of Wilbur and Orville Wright, who built the airplane. You know that they built their airplane in Dayton, Ohio, but there was a great challenge there. There was no wind in Dayton, Ohio, so they had to move their airplane to Kitty Hawk, North Carolina, where there was plenty of wind. So I think we're all going to face challenges, but I think the greatness of leadership is how we respond to that. So don't let this crisis, you may even shut you down, but dream again. Why did you start your business? Go back to that. What's your identity, and what's your why, and lead out of that. So
Yeah, that's so
failure is
cool.
not final. Keep
That's
on going.
Failure is not final. You're
Yeah,
absolutely right. And yeah, there's the rest of the story, right? So,
right.
well, you guys have the Calling Church, and if anybody wanted to maybe connect with you guys, they're in the Pasadena area, or my gosh,
Yeah,
you're probably doing church online and
yeah,
having
yeah,
some messages of hope. How can people get in touch
yeah.
with
Yeah, that we'd love that. Yeah, so you can get in touch with you. Follow our Instagram handle. We have a Instagram that's at the Calling Church. You can find us on YouTube at the Calling Church. You see my face. You click the button, you'll see me there. Yeah, and then our website www.thecallingla.com. So that's how
you?
you can find us. Yeah.
That's perfect. Well, Michael, we appreciate you so much taking time out of your day. You go enjoy your beautiful
Yeah.
daughter.
Oh, thank you.
I love that. I love, and now you have a
Yeah.
story to share with her
Right.
about,
Yeah. Right.
this time. So I love that. And thank
Yeah.
you again. We appreciate you
Thank you.
guys. All
Thank
right.
you. God bless you guys. Take it easy.
Thank you.